This is Moutai. It's 53% alcohol, tastes like firewater, and a bottle can cost tens of thousands of dollars.
Moutai is the national liquor of China, so it's many people's go-to drink.
As Moutai's popularity grows, so has its share price. In June 2020, it surpassed China's biggest bank, climbing to reach a valuation of over $500 billion in 2021. Today, Moutai is the world's largest beverage company by market value. The company is now worth $295 billion. That's more than double the market cap of the company that owns Budweiser and more than 10 times the parent company of Jack Daniels. So, what's next for China's premier liquor brand? This is the Economics of Moutai. Before we get into the details, how do people drink Moutai?
It'll be consumed in these tiny little 5 or 6 ml Guizhou glasses, and the reason why it's so small is because it's much stronger than your usual spirits, and also because it's in such a small glass, you can kind of sip your way over the course of a long banquet with many different dishes.
Moutai is rooted deep in Chinese history, earning a reputation as the drink of diplomacy.
Because of the fact that it's been at so many historical moments, so the brand awareness of Moutai is like top-notch, which also explains why it's a status symbol.
Last shots, 22,000, 45,000, 48,000. Sold.
Moutai is popular among the rich and elite in China.
Thank you.
This year, Sotheby's hosted its first Moutai-themed auction.
Jackie shakes his head.
It has become a more prominent category that demands its own category, which is not an easy feat, I think.
Paul Wong has been an auctioneer at Sotheby's for more than a decade.
So 80% of our consumers, they buy and drink, and 20% maybe they buy it, for saving up. It's a safe buy, even if you don't drink it now, because prominent brands like Moutai will be ahead of the curve.
Moutai is not only a safe choice for collectors, but also for investors. The liquor firm has long been considered as one of China's bellwether stocks.
Moutai is basically the anchor of value investing. What makes Moutai shares in general stable despite these fluctuations is that the demand remains pretty stable even during COVID years. Moutai's revenue increased, so that kind of speaks to how stable the company is.
Consistent high demand and constrained supply is how Moutai keeps its prices high. The cheapest bottle on the market costs about $350. But vintage ones, like this 80-year-old bottle, can go for almost $40,000. And this lot from the 1970s smashed records and was sold for $1.4 million. Scarcity is what keeps Moutai expensive. Much like champagne has to come from France and bourbon from the US, the liquor can only be made in this village in Guizhou.
So the supply isn't that high, usually. A typical bottle of Moutai takes at least 5 years to make. It needs to use a specific type of grain, which is a red color sorghum, and then it needs to be distilled 9 times and aged 3 years. So for any drop of Moutai to go from production to the market, it takes quite a while.
This 7-story statue resembling a Moutai bottle symbolises the company's importance to Guizhou, which owns Moutai.
The GDP per capita of Moutai village is about $310,000 US, and that's more than 4 times of the GDP per capita of the entire US.
Making sure the brand continues to thrive is one of Moutai's biggest challenges.
A brand is like a living entity that always needs to be replenished.
Moutai's consumer base has long been dominated by older and wealthier Chinese, who appreciate the brand's historical significance and could afford to serve bottles during formal dinners. So the company launched new marketing campaigns to target younger Chinese. Another problem facing Moutai, it's not well known outside of China. If Moutai wants to continue to grow, it needs to be less reliant on the Chinese market.
Looking ahead, if Moutai wants to be as stable as now, that's fine. But if it wants to expand more aggressively, it needs to look to the younger generation and the global audience.
Moutai may have a long way to go before it becomes a global household name, but its dominance in the liquor industry remains. Its annual net profit in 2023 beat market expectations, rising 19% to $10.3 billion.
Moutai is a very big brand. It is the most valuable alcohol producer in China and the biggest in the world, and will probably continue to be.